So obviously your mum's played a big part in your life, and I've got to know her. Very strong woman.
Yeah.
What's she mean to you?
Yeah, obviously everything. Obviously, she's a single parent to start off with, so she's done a terrific job there. But yeah, she means everything like every other mum would to her son. She's done a lot for me, obviously. I remember like when she used to work at Servo, she used to have to do like early mornings. She used to take me to work, and I'd be in the back of the servo there and stuff like that. So
you wouldn't even been allowed there too.
No. So we'd have this little TV. She set up a little TV for me in the back room and stuff like that. But yeah, to see her go through what she's been through, to raise me is good. And like you said, she's a strong woman, independent woman. Doesn't really ask for help too much, which is not good, but puts her under a lot of stress. But no, yeah, I love her.
I remember you telling me a story when I first hung out with you. Someone was talking shit about you at the pub and she flogged him.
Yeah. No, it was at the skate park. I think I dropped in front of someone, and I was only young, and he hit me, and I was like, oh, sorry, because I'm not much of a fighter. And anyway, he pushed me, and my mum was in the car and come running around the fence and grabbed him and started hitting him. So obviously I'm her world, and she was a bit wild back in her day, but she's a lovely woman. She's a good woman.
Yeah, I love that.
I remember she always goes, you got to watch out for her left hook. It's a dangerous one, but yeah.
Obviously known as a football player. How'd you get playing?
To be honest, I've got an older cousin. Obviously he's 5 years older than me, DJ. Just playing going over there, your cousin's house or whatnot, playing when you're younger in the backyard. And he signed up. He was playing. He said, oh, you should come down and play. So I signed up at the under sixes at Beenleigh Lions and, loved it from there.
From day dot?
Loved it. I was a little bit bigger than a lot of the kids. So they tried to put me up another year, but my mum wouldn't let me. So she was, I'm a little baby. So yeah, she wouldn't let me. So I was always a little bit bigger to maybe under 13s maybe. Then everyone started catching up. But yeah, from day dot, I loved it. And it came pretty, naturally. Yeah, it was good.
You sort of recently found out about like your heritage and you growing up without a dad, and you said your mum done a great job of doing both jobs. What was it like growing up without a dad? Cause you wouldn't know any different, would you?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I wouldn't know any different. Obviously, you get friends and they've got dads and that growing up and all that. But for me, mum did a really good job, and I had a lot of my uncles that were around the same type of around the area. So I always kind of had a male figure that was in my life, but not a dad, if that makes sense. So. Yeah, my uncles did a good job. But yeah, it's all I've known. It's weird. Like as you get older, you think about it a little bit more. I had an opportunity. Mum was like, I can, reach out and if you want to meet him, you can. But I just thought, well, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me now. Like, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I never felt like I had to meet him or wanted to. So yeah, it was just...
Has it changed now as you got a little bit older?
You get a bit more curious about it, you know what I mean? Like, it would be weird, but I don't know. If it happened, it happened. But if it didn't, it wouldn't bother me, to be fair. So, yeah, it is a bit weird.
Yeah, I feel like I'd go the other way where, like, I'd be like, oh, I didn't have him in my life, so I'd be like, fuck that cunt.
Yeah.
But you've always sort of been, like, pretty cruisy with a lot of things.
Yeah, so, like, I just think anger's not going to change it, being angry at him, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, if it happened, it'd be weird if it happened. I'd love just to see what he's like. You know what I mean? Like, I just love to see what he's like, what he's about. But yeah, so
to see if the apple don't fall far from the tree.
That'd be the biggest one. So, yeah.
So how did you sort of progress through football? Was this like, was your like childhoods revolved around it? Were you making rep teams all the way up to Keeper Park? Were you signed at a young age? Like, when you reflect back on your childhood and football, like, what stories can you tell us?
Yeah, look, well, I was just always at Beenleigh Lions until I was 14, but just coming through, you could kind of tell I was good at it, you know what I mean? It came easy. From under 12s on, I was making the rep sides. It did help that I was a little bit bigger than all the other boys, that man child.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was making all the rep sides and that. But I don't know, a big one for me is because I don't have a dad, it's it was always when I went to rep things and seen players with their dads, I was I always wanted to make it without, a father influence. You hear a lot of fathers have influence in that lower grades, who gets in the team, or his son's probably not the best player, but he makes the side type thing.
Mm.
So for me, it was always that little chip on the shoulder that I don't have a dad, so I'm going to be good.
Yeah, so you feel like you had to, it's almost in boxing when they say, the judges make all the decisions, you have to actually win.
Yeah,
so you just wanted to prove you're actually good enough.
I think that was a big part, and even I can't really be told what to do. It's kind of I didn't have that father figure, so I'm I'll figure it out by myself. I've got this far, so I don't really need your advice. Looking back now, I'm my footy career, and I'd take a lot of things on board, but it'd always be I've got here, so on my own, so I'll just do it on my own. You hear a lot of especially halves go to experienced halves or halves out of the game and just get advice and that. I never really did that, or I never reached out to someone that could be could you mentor me or stuff like that. I'm not saying a lot of halves do that, but looking back now, I probably should have. Yeah. But I've always just had that little bit of, I've got this far on my own, so
almost
I'll be
me versus the world sort of vibe.
Yeah, nothing that hectic, but it's always been a little bit I've got this far on my own, so I'll be sweet. Yeah. Type thing. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it all stemmed back from the not having an old boy, and especially seeing it when I was younger. Kids rock up with their dad. The dad gives them a pep talk, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I've got my mum talking to me. He's probably never played sports in her life. Yeah, do this, do that. All right, yeah, mum, righto, thanks, love ya, type thing. But that's where I think it stems back from. Yeah, just back in those younger days. Yeah,
because I reflect when you talk about your childhood. I reflect back on my childhood. My dad was my coach, and me and we had him all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was hard on us, and me and Quade always talk about him. That's the reason why we've done okay in life, and
of course.
Had that sort of discipline.
Yeah,
you've made it the other way.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like you said, that discipline things are probably a big thing that I kind of didn't have growing up as well. My mum, she's trying to let me do what I want within reason. And I think if I had a dad there, kind of pull you in line, discipline you as they do, you know what I mean? It could have been a little bit different, especially my character growing up. Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I think about it when we got a bit older and we were going out and stuff, and kind of once the autopilot goes on, I'd always go, nah, you just go, let's keep going.
Yeah, exactly right.
And back in my mind, subconsciously, I think if I go home, I'm probably going to get a high.
Yeah. So, and my mum used to, she used to get up me. She never used to flog me. Used to throw everything else but me. But so, like you said, you would have got hidings. You know what I mean, from the old man. But yeah so.